Right. And it's pretty much just going to break down everything that kept me unprofitable for a long period of time, and then what I actually did to change that. The first thing that comes to mind is just bad habits. I would constantly just be re-upping on top step accounts, even though I had absolutely no sort of structured plan, anything like that. I'd literally just be buying an account, trying to trade some random confluences like a breakout or some fair value gap, stuff like that. Literally just looking for stuff with no checklist. Every time I'd be blowing an account, I'd literally just be re-upping and revenge trading after the losses. Just literally pure full porting with no reason why. There was no confluences. I'm literally just jumping in because I'm just incredibly emotional. There we go, jumping in without a setup. And then it was the same thing every week. I'd literally just constantly be blowing accounts every week. Maybe I'd even keep one for a few weeks and then just blow it. But there was no progress ever being made. I had no plan. And I wouldn't journal either. I would literally just take all of these trades, just screenshot them, upload the winners to my story, thinking I'm the bad man. Absolutely no data collection, not even journaling, literally just straight hitting and hoping that one funded account was going to save my life. Now, the one thing that managed to get rid of all of them bad habits was something as simple as just having a step-by-step model, a step-by-step set of rules that I follow every time within the market, so I'm never second guessing. And this is slightly off topic, but before I literally had no sort of plan at all. Now, all I do is jump onto the market, get a high time frame bias, so I'm going short. I'll look for the highest point of the previous session, wait for it to get swept, then wait for the next confluence, which is a fake out. Once that happens, then I just look for a break of structure. Boom, we break structure. Then I just look for a fib tool on the entry. We just come retrace back up to the 618. I've got a fix 1 to 3. We retrace back to the 618 and absolutely sink down to take profit. Now, I didn't have a strategy before. Now I do, evidently. So if you're in a boat where you literally just don't have a strategy, comment mech down below and I'll send you over this exact step-by-step model, or just go on my channel and watch the Big Nez Bootcamp. It weren't just learning the strategy that managed to fix them bad habits happening on the chart. It was actually just getting back-tested data. So I too was confident in the strategy. I didn't just fire the strategy blindly with absolutely no reasoning behind my decisions. I actually went back, got the data, got the back testing, found out, okay, this strategy that I'm using actually does have an edge. It produces a return on R every year, so I'm gonna start trading it. As soon as I adapted an actual model, I would not be taking different strategies every week, different setups every week, because I'd got the data. I can't be asked to go and back test another strategy for years when I know this one works. Now I have a mechanical bias, which is the exact same every single time I step onto the chart, so I'm never second guessing myself on whether I wanna go long or short. And I used to react so emotionally to my trades because every time I was trying to predict the market and I thought it was on me, but now I'm literally just watching my system play out. I've gone in the back testing. I know in the back tested data that there's gonna be losing streaks, there's gonna be win streaks, and I just watch the system play out instead of feeling personally attacked by the market every single time I take a loss. So what I mean by the bias is I took this trade on AUD USD today, and the reason I went short was not because I just randomly decided this morning I want to go short. All I did was come onto the 4-hour chart and I just used my mechanical way of finding bias, which is tracing back the most recent fractals on the chart, fractals by Rachel T on the indicators. And I traced back this one. There was no candle break, so we didn't push through it, we didn't push up it, so I'm not going to be bullish because we haven't pushed up. I'm not going to be bearish because we haven't pushed down. We see this fractal right here, boom, look, we pushed down it to the downside, so I'm going to be short. And that's how I got my bias today. Now, a trading plan isn't just a strategy. You've also got to have a DCA plan and a risk plan. What this is how often, how frequently you're going to be investing into the market. That's the DCA. And then the risk plan is just essentially what you're going to be risking on every trade. The reason you want to have this predetermined is you don't want to be making any more decisions than you have to when you're in the market. You want to run the same risk every single time, so it's just an added layer off of the psychology. There's no more things you can do wrong. Now, the thing that improved my trading the most was diversification, because I would literally just sit on one funded account at one time in one go, fail that account, get the next one, fail that account, get the next one. And when I started to diversify, when just buying accounts for different assets, I started passing some accounts when some would fail, and you get more passes more frequently, which leads to more payouts more frequently. And also, if you're just all in on one pair, then if that pair is having a really bad month, another pair could be having a really great month. So if you've got two pairs that you're trading, you're obviously going to balance out the fact that you could go on a winning streak on one, you could go on a losing streak on the other. And instead of one bad week wiping out all of your accounts, one bad week maybe just wipe out a few. Off the back of that, the risk plan is so important, because especially when you're trading on a live account, you want to know what you're going to be expecting your maximum loss streaks to be, so you know what to risk on the account. Because when you're playing the funded account game, you're going to be risking based off of playing the funded account. There's maximum loss limits, there's daily drawdown rules. You've got loads of roadblocks in place when you're trading on these funded accounts. So it's going to be a little bit different to when you're doing it on live. And it's so good just having a full risk plan. So you know what you're risking on live accounts, what you're risking on funded accounts, what you're risking on the eval stage, what you're risking when you've actually passed the account. Everything is already predetermined before you even get to that point, and it's just so handy to have. I was unprofitable for so long because I just never really knew what to risk. I'd just be chucking on maybe one contract there. If I feel good about this trade, maybe two contracts. There was no standardized approach, and once you've actually collected data and you can see the wins and the losses and how spread out everything is, you then start to realize, oh shit, maybe I need to stagger, maybe I need to set fixed risk for certain funded account challenges. Maybe the ROI is better if I do something differently. The max historical loss streak was so crucial for me for trading the live account because I wanted to have trust in what I was risking because I didn't want to just blow my live personal funds. And the next thing honestly was just ego. I didn't want to learn from someone else. I wanted to just do my own thing and create my own model. Maybe I just had an ego. I would just always think that I had to be right in the market instead of just submitting to a process and submitting to a model and just biting the bullet, learning some new tech and actually getting the data on it instead of just having some mad intuition that things are all going to work out. As soon as I stopped trying to predict the market and started just reacting on the data that I had, things started being blessed for me because all I would see on TikTok is people trying to top tick, bottom tick, trying to replicate that on the charts with minimal knowledge on what their actual model even is. And then when I finally actually just got the data, finally backtested a step-by-step simple mechanical model, which I've shown for free in the bootcamp series, everything just became so much easier. I finally trusted exactly what I was doing. There's no second guessing. All I'm doing is waiting for my notifications, setting my limits and putting the trades on. So that's pretty much everything that I changed in the lessons I learned from becoming unprofitable to profitable. Hopefully you can apply all these practices into your own trading. If you want to work with me one-to-one, the type form is below. But if you just want some source, go onto my YouTube. On the playlist, there is a bootcamp series where I go over the full mech model for completely free. So watch that shit and bust yourself up on the trading.